Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalogrim here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the 5-in-1 chest and we are going to be seeing if it is worth your gems. How am I gonna do this? I'm going to multiply the amount of chests up to 100 in order for me to be able to find out the average amount you would get for 100 chests. Then we will reduce it to the average amount you would get for one chest. We will divide the cost for each resource. We will look at alternative ways to get that specific resource, and at the end we'll draw a conclusion if you are getting your gems worth for the chest pretty much. So if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe because that really supports the channel. Click that bell button in order to not miss any notification. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have, and let's get into it. Okay, so this is the chest at the moment I'm recording this video, and those are the chances it has. It's going to cost 380 gems to open. And how are we going to calculate the average you'll get from one chest with average luck? Well, first of all, we have some percentages over here. So you have a 3% chance to get 500,000 credits, for example. What does that mean? It means that for 100 chests that you're going to open with average luck, you'll get that 3 times. And that's what we are going to do. We will multiply the amounts over here, like the 500,000 credits, with the number on the left to find out how many you would get with average luck from 100 openings. After that, we will add all the value, like add all the credits with all the other credits, all the sims with all the other sims, and then divide the final amount by 100 to see how much you would get on average from one single chest. And let's take a little look at the numbers. I have calculated the fact that from 100 openings you're going to get the following with average luck yet again. You're going to get 9,900,000 credits. You are going to get 925 sims. You are going to get 320 reforges. Excuse me. You are going to get 145,000 fragments. And you are going to get around 705,000 materials. So if we divide each one of them by 100, we will get the following results. For one opening, and that means for 380 gems, you are going to be getting on average the following results. 100,000 credits on average. Well, it's going to be 99,000, so I just leave it at 100,000. You are going to get 9 sims. You are going to get 3 reforges. You're going to get 1,450 frags, and you're going to get 7,005 materials. Right now we are going to take a look at each one of those values, and we are going to be asking ourselves how much you would normally spend in order to get this specific amount. And we are going to draw the conclusion at the end if this is worth getting. So let's get into how you can get each one of those things without buying this chest. Okay, so first of all, this is not normally the way to get credits. Credits are going to be gotten from the campaign by farming usually heroic, because that also has more gears. But that's not the purpose of this video. So only for calculating purposes, we are going to take a look at swamping. In order to farm this one, this will yield the biggest amount of credits in game. It's not optimal to farm this because the heroic ones also give more gears, but this gives the highest amount of credits in game. So we are looking at trying to make 100,000 credits to make up for that one average amount you'll get from opening one chest. And since this is going to give us around 5,325 for each round, it's going to be a little less or a little higher each round. You are going to need to do this one quite a few times in order to be able to get that amount of reforges, and I have calculated. I'm not going to get into all the factors, but considering the fact that you'll need to refresh your energy, and the energy is going to cost gems, and you'll need to also buy some sims, and we will talk about the sims in the next section, but I have put their cost into as well. So you are going to be needing around 100 gems on average in order to buy the sims to farm this enough times, and also refresh the energy in order to make that specific amount. Might be a little more, but let's stick with this amount. So on average 100,000 credits are going to be costing you 100 gems. If you put everything on paper, it's going to cost a little bit more than 100 gems, but you're also going to get gear materials, so let's leave it at 100. Now let's move on to how much the sims are going to cost. I have sadly already purchased my sim pack from the special offers for the day. It will appear again tomorrow. You should have it if you didn't buy it already. You'll get, I think, 25 sims for 80 gems, if I'm not wrong. And what does that mean? It means that no, it's going to be a little more expensive than that. I think it's 90 gems. So, considering those, my calculations are going to mean that you'll get on average 9 sims for the amount of 40 gems. Oh, it was 120 gems. 120 gems for 25 sims, now I remember. Yeah, and you'll get 9 sims for 40 gems on average. And let's move on to the next thing. The reforges is going to be over here too in the special offers, so you can get this, the gear reforge pack. This is not the most optimal to get way to get gear reforges or gear materials in the game, but we are going to be using this as a reference because it's going to be pretty easy to do so, and it's going to be close enough to the most efficient way to make materials and gear reforges, so it's not that huge of a difference. So over here we have a cost for each one of, we have a cost for getting this amount. This is a fixed amount, you'll get this every single time. And since we are having over here gear materials and reforges, I'm going to just draw the conclusion that half of the price is going to be for the gear materials and half of the price will be for the reforges. And keeping that in mind is going to leave us with the result that on average 3 reforges are going to be costing us 62 gems. Remember that 3 reforges is going to be the average that we have decided for the chest that you'll get for one opening. And the average for materials is going to be 1,450, yet again with the logic that we are dividing the cost by half and splitting it up amongst each of its components. It will grant us the result. When it comes to gear materials, we are also going to be taking a look at this chest, and yet again the same logic with that is with reforges, that half of the price for this chest is going to be for the reforges and half for the gear materials. And as we have established, you'll get on average 7,000 gear materials if you open this one, and that means it is going to cost you 120 gems. Right now we have the values for everything but the artifact fragments, and we will go and take a look back at the chest and draw some conclusions. Okay, so taking a look back at the chest, if we add up what we have calculated so far and the gem costs that we have identified so far for every single thing on this list, the only thing left out will be artifact fragments, and you will get 1045 artifact fragments from this chest on average on one opening. And if we deduct the costs for everything that you will get on average for one opening, it leaves us with the fact that the price for 1450 artifact materials is going to be the amount that you are going to get for 58 gems on this chest at the very least. So basically, every single value in this game we have calculated in gems as you will get it by other ways in this game, and the only thing that is left out will be the fragments, the artifact fragments, that if divided the cost of everything, gotten by other means of course, will land us with the amount of 1450 fragments for 58 gems. Now let's take a look at how much it is going to cost to upgrade an artifact. And keep in mind that some artifacts cost more to upgrade, some artifacts cost less to upgrade. This is on the more cheaper side. This one is going to cost you 5,000 to upgrade, and keep in mind this is on the cheaper side of things, so 1,450 our fragments is not going to be that much. Okay, so with all this information, let's go back to the chest, let's take a look at it again, and let's draw some final conclusion. Okay, so back at it with all the calculations, all the numbers and everything. So the only question that is remaining, since we have calculated the amount of earth resources in terms of how much gems they are worth it, the only reason that is remaining is this chest worth getting for, in order to get 1,450 fragments for 58 gems. Well, in my opinion, not really, because of the fact that even though artifact fragments are a very rare thing, that is not going to be an amazing price to get them for. It's going to be a pretty decent price, but if you're going for the artifact fragments, then I suggest you wait for the artifact chest, because from that you also have an option to drop an artifact, and at the same time all the resources that you're going to get from this chest are going to have more optimal ways to be gotten, much more optimal ways to be gotten. So basically the only reason you would get this chest is going to be for the fragments. In my opinion, even though it's a pretty decent number that you're going to get from it, it is not going to be worth it, because if you want fragments, you'll get them from raids, you'll get them from shattering the artifacts, and the only artifact related chest you need to get is the artifact chest, actually. That's the name of it, or if I remember it right, and that is how you get your artifact fragments to upgrade your artifacts. And other than that, you have no other reason to get this chest other than that. Overall, it is not a bad chest. Most definitely it is not a bad chest. But for me, the only reasons I would buy this chest for would be the sims, and there's a better way to get them, the reforges, and there's a better way to get them, and the fragments, and there is not specifically a better way to get them, but a chest where you can get other good things along with them. So my opinion is, for this one it is up to you actually. Like, this chest is going to be a pretty decent chest at the price that it has. I will not get it for the reasons mentioned above, but for this one you can't really go wrong with it. The only way you can go wrong with it is if you are a new player and you mostly need new characters, so don't open this. But if you are not a new player and you have enough characters, then the decision is up to you, man. The numbers are out there, I have done the calculations, I have said why I will not get it myself, but this is not such a bad chest, but not the best chest in the game. So the conclusion of this video is that it's pretty much up to you. This chest is not great, but not terrible. Oh, and before I go, I almost forgot, thank you very much for watching. For any further questions, make sure to ask them down in the comments. If I answer your question and you require further answering, please make a separate comment, because it's much more easier to identify it. Subscribe for this channel for more content like this. Maybe check that bell button to not miss an upload. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike, and I'll see you in the next one.